live and in living color. Let me check the audio. Okay, I think I'm using the right audio. That's good. Let's see. Let me just, if you guys can hear me, if you can see me, just comment that you can hear me, you can see me, or else I don't know if anything's working. Let me just put on a little bit of chapstick. All right. We are, okay, it looks like I got a notification from YouTube that I am live, so that's a good thing. If you can hear me, if you can see me, just comment yes. Let me know that you can hear me. Open up my chat. Hey, Cynthia, how are you today? Um, so, what we're going to do today is I want to just build an online business based on your input. It's one thing if I tell you what to do, I think it's more fun if I have audience participation. So, if you would be so kind as to give me some ideas. Todd, how's it going? So if you guys could give me some ideas, and I'll just put it on top here. So if you're joining late, I'm just gonna say like list a niche that you'd like built. So men and women, boys and girls, if you have an idea, if you have a niche but you don't know how to get started in it, comment. Good, Cynthia. I'm good. How are you? Hope everything is going well. I've got no complaints whatsoever, which is good. So if you can hear me, you can see me. Comment right now with your um, with a niche that you'd like me to create a business in. Just give me a few suggestions, and we can get the ball rolling. So what we're going to do um, is we're going to break down a niche, we're going to do sub niche, and then we're actually going to do the most important part, which is email marketing. Now, everybody should be doing email marketing simply because it's the best way to get consistent income in your online business. Without email marketing, you might struggle to sell digital products. And I am streaming live on YouTube, TikTok, um, everywhere. Okay, anything I can get money coming in, like yesterday. So, I mean, that really could be anything, Cynthia. Believe it or not. Um, One thing I like to say all the time is there are trillions of dollars that are being passed back and forth every single day. And not all of that money, actually, very little of that money, is teaching people how to make money online. So, when you look at it that way, any niche will work. Every niche will work. And it really comes down to something that you're actually interested in. Because I say this all the time, if you chase the money, you will never catch it. And oftentimes people are struggling to be successful online because they are just chasing the money. Um, when you start looking at it like, hey, I want to create content that actually helps people, that solves a problem, that's when you can be more successful. That's when you are more successful. So give me some ideas, because I want this to be based on you. I mean, I've got tons of ideas. We can, do old stuff that I like to talk about, but I think it's really important to do things based on what you want, so that you can see the value in it. If I don't get any suggestions, I'll just pick something and we can run with it. But like I said, everything is a niche. Everything is a niche, and it's relatively easy to get up and running. Any suggestions out there? Any takers? Anybody want to give me an idea of how to get started? Here's a niche. Third, what's a third culture kid, Susie? I'm not even sure what that is. I'm gonna look that up over on my other screen here. I'm not saying, oh, third culture kids. That's interesting. There are people who are raised in a culture other than their parents. That's interesting. That's a really interesting thing. So let's do it. So as you can see here, third culture kids are people who were raised in a culture other than their parents or the culture of their, let's see, or the culture of their culture of their country or nationality. So that would be like someone, Susie, correct me if I'm wrong. That would be like if someone's parents are from India, we'll say my next door neighbors, they're from India. They have a kid there, and then they bring them over to a different country. Is that correct? By the time I was 18, I lived in 7 countries. So, and I don't know where you're from originally, but Army kids are kind of like that, where they bounce around place to place to place. And what's really interesting is where we live is like 30 minutes from the Great Lakes Naval Base. And so while people worked on the base, they lived here in Wisconsin. And so we wound up getting people that were coming from all over the place and going to school in these different places. Okay, so military kids, good. So this is going to be a little bit interesting. What I'm seeing here is bilingual children, and this is going to be fun. So we're going to do what? Third culture kid. I thought it had to do with something like the kid in which you were, the order in which you were raised, like the middle child or something like that. So, all right, so our niche is going to be third culture kids. Now, we need to figure out who we're talking to. Are we talking to parents of these types of kids, or are we talking to, well, we probably should be talking to the kids, but are we talking to the kids as adults that maybe had a problem and now they need like counseling or something? So I think that would be what we would have to figure out, is how to, I think we should probably talk to alumni of international schools. Okay. I think we should talk to the parents of those kids. Am I on the right track, Susie? Talking to the parents of the kids. Hey, hola to you over there. Counseling is a big thing. Yeah, I'm sure that, and just thinking about this, keywords, REACH, thinking about a keyword right away is like spotting signs of like not adjusting. No, actually, you want me to create something to help you. Okay, so that's interesting. So first thing we got to do is we got to try and start figuring out questions that people are asking with regards to third culture kids. Now, are people talking about this in a different way? Let's find that out. So the first thing we want to do is we want to do a little bit of research. So I'm just going to paste this in here. What is third culture kid syndrome? And what I'm looking for, what I'm looking for is I'm going to look at different websites that are already ranking for some keywords to help me get an idea of what to talk about. Okay, third culture kids growing up among worlds. So what I'm going to do, and this is a paid keyword research tool that I like to use. It does have a free version of it, but a paid keyword research tool, while it does cost money, it ultimately saves you time, which is worth more money. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to Site Explorer, and I'm just going to open up a few of these websites to get an idea of the keywords, because I have no idea what keywords would pop up. And I just want to try and figure out how to do this without taking difficult for monoculture people to understand it. Yeah, I'm going to be quite honest with you. It would be very difficult for someone, because here's the best way that I could explain that. Going down to every Easter, our family would drive down to South Carolina from Wisconsin. And when you get down there, it's like a completely different world. The speech is different. The accents they use is different. The slang is different. Everything is different. And so you're kind of confused and caught off guard. The way people drive, like subtle things that you just kind of pick up on, is probably the closest thing to what you've experienced. Now, obviously, I've never experienced it, but going down to Atlanta for a week or going down to South Carolina for a week and just trying to understand those different things. Okay, so what I'm looking at right now are the keywords for third culture kid for this web page for Wikipedia. On the left-hand side here, we have the keywords, we have the number of times it's searched per month, and then how difficult it would be to rank if we were trying to rank on Google. Okay, so it looks like there's some interesting keywords here, but what I want to do is I want to do this a bunch of times for a number of keywords, or a number of websites. Yeah, that would be pretty weird. Like your home country is not your home country at all. Now, I wonder how many people, so it looks like, what is third culture kids, third culture meaning, adult third culture kids. What we would try and find is common pain points or problems that these people experience, third culture kid, people, adults. Kind of like a man without a country type of thing where you belong a few different places, but you don't really feel comfortable anywhere. And so you'd want to think about home is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Yeah. And so you'd want to think about some of the problems that they're actually having. And I'm gonna cheat this a little bit just so that we're not doing this for 6 hours. I'm going to go to ChatGPT to help us out here. I'm going to skip the line. All right. So I'm going to say my target audience are adults who were third culture kids. Right? Third culture kids? Yeah, third culture kids. Third culture kids. Create a audience persona. All right. And so again, so that this doesn't take 6 hours, we're going to kind of speed this up a little bit. But what's really interesting is we are looking for the problems and pain points that they're experiencing so that we can talk to those problems and pain points. So that we ultimately, what I want to do right now is I want to start building I want to start building a lead magnet and a landing page so that I can capture their information. Now look at this. Goals and aspiration, challenges and pain points. Sometimes struggles with a sense of belonging or identifying with a single culture, navigates complex feelings about home and identity, balances maintaining connections with friends globally, faces stereotypes or misconceptions about a global nomad. Susie, tell me, does that sound like you? I'm kind of putting you on the spot right now, but tell me, does that sound like you? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to say list more pain points. Languages, fluent in English, Mandarin, German, and conversational Portuguese. This is really interesting. And you know what's really weird? You know what's really cool about this niche? Is that people that are outside of this have no idea that this is an issue or a concern. But people that are inside of this, and this goes for everything, people that are inside of this deal with probably micro issues every single day. So look, all right. So what we're going to do next, parenting challenges, really interesting, career mobility, longing for cultural traditions, reverse culture shock, financial strain, cultural misconceptions, isolation, language barriers, educational, career uncertainty. Susie, out of all of these, you never feel that you properly fit in unless you are in the company of other TCKSs. Out of these that are listed, Susie, which one would you say is the biggest challenge to you? Now this is kind of turned into a two-man game here, but this is really interesting. It's something that I have very little knowledge of. And so we can use this real life example to help us build out something. And the cool thing with this is that you realize that there are literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of niches that are out there that you would have no idea. And what we're going to do is we're going to build out cultural identity. Okay, so cultural gaps with family. So what we want to do is I'm just going to put in like our we call them Alex. I think it's called Alex. Alex Johnson's biggest struggle is cultural identity. Alex Johnson's biggest struggle is cultural identity. This is going to sound really bad. Alex Johnson's biggest struggle is cultural identity. How can we help this person and monetize this opportunity? All right, so we can create a community platform, Susie. So you could create an online community where you potentially could you could have a couple different communities. You could have a free community where you offer information, and then maybe even a paid community where people can kind of interact. We call ourselves cultural chameleons. Interesting. Let's see. Create a mobile app, collaborate with cultural organizations, develop online courses. I'm interested in that. Personal coaching, publish a book, launch a content platform. So you could create a podcast. That would be interesting. Talking to other cultural chameleons, develop consultancy. So this is interesting. What I want to do now is I'm actually going to say create, based on the information you gave, create a value ladder. There are already lots of podcasts. Okay, so the easiest thing might be to just talk through it. Merchandising, hotel retreats, and travel experiences. That would be interesting. Maybe travel every few months. Everyone takes a turn where they travel to their home country and other people come with, other cultural chameleons. But if we look at this, free content, blogs, podcasts, social media posts, low cost. You could do an ebook, online workshop, membership platform. I like the membership thing because it would be reoccurring. And then you could also consult for an hourly wage. And you would be able to speak to the problems that people are going through and the questions that people are asking. So what you might want to do, or what you could do, Susie, is you could create a podcast and a blog and make social media posts, and then direct them to either your membership where like-minded people are going to get together, or you could just offer one-on-one consulting where you can speak to some of the problems and concerns that they have. But I think this is interesting. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to list 5 lead magnet ideas for this target audience. So the Global Nomads Guidebook is interesting. It is more about how to reach this niche. Well, you would reach it if there are a bunch of podcasts. It sounds like there's a few different ways to reach it. Let's look at TikTok real quick. So we go to TikTok, and you guys call yourselves, I'm just going to type in third culture kids. Only third culture kids will understand this struggle. 219,000 views. Any fellow third culture kids, 4.1 million views. So it looks like people are creating content about being a third culture kid, and they're getting lots of views. Do you guys know what a third culture kid is? This would be a really good way to inform people, because I had no awareness about this. So you could create content and you could potentially reach a whole new audience, and you could reach friends of people that are third culture kids and potentially get this information or content shared. So the how is always creating content. Podcasts are content. Is there a new perspective, a new way that nobody is talking about? Um, you can speak better because you're probably more aware of the cultural differences between 2 or 3 countries. You said your parents are Swedish, born in Japan, grew up in Southeast Asia, lived in 12 countries, and married to a Canadian TCK. We are both Aussies now. Wow. Okay. Um, so you can speak better to the different idiosyncrasies of the different cultures. But how is right here. You get in front of these people by creating content. This person, any fellow third culture kids out there, this is a TikTok video. It was uploaded 4 days ago and it has 4.1 million views. I have a little merch shop and have a wonderful lady who creates Facebook and Instagram posts. It'd be interesting to see what she's putting on Instagram and Facebook. But look at this, 800,000 views. How many views are you getting on Instagram and Facebook? This has almost 1 million views. This one has over 4 million views on from it basically has 1 million views per day. So I would go where the traffic is. Yeah. Hop on. It looks like there's a whole bunch of people that are talking about being third culture. You hop on, you can talk about your experience. Talk about the differences growing up. Talk about things that you noticed that other people couldn't notice. Like since you said you live in, you guys live in Australia, create content about the little things that you notice that other Australians wouldn't notice, or create things that, let's see, you were born in Sweden. Create videos about things that you notice that other people in their country wouldn't notice. It's kind of like I mentioned before, when we went down to South Carolina, we had everyone within South Carolina. You live in New Zealand, okay? Everyone in South Carolina doesn't think they talk weird. But me coming from the north, but I'm moving back to OC in January. But me coming from the north and saying, why does everyone talk weird? And they say, no, you're the one that talks weird. Or, they mumble their words or slur their words, slur their speech. They don't realize that because they've lived in it. And so I think you could create content. Don't be afraid to show up on camera. Nobody cares how you look. They only care if you can provide information and entertain them. But if we look at this has 21.8 million views. There's lots of views to be had out here. And that's a cool thing with TikTok, is that you can create content and it just gets sprayed all over. And you could wind up triggering the algorithm because you're talking about something that no one else or not many people are talking about. I'm from Louisiana, South. Yeah, okay. So Cynthia talks weird too. But, have to learn there's nothing to learn. You hop on TikTok and you start talking to your camera. You start creating content. Yeah, I'm kidding, Cynthia. Every one of the mom side of my family, they talk weird. They're all strange speakers. But look, there's just tons of opportunities out here. And I think that you can hop on trends too, Susie. Like, this is probably a trend video. I speak Swedish with an English accent and get asked where I'm from. Yeah. There's someone on TikTok where there's 2 women. I don't know if they're roommates or whatever, but they basically say, here's how you say one word in English, and here's how you say the other word in Swedish, whatever it is. And they get a bunch of views. So there's lots of opportunity. I'd also look into more than just doing a merch store. I think a merch thing is cool if you have a bunch of followers, a bunch of a large community. But if you're looking to put some money in your pocket, I'd start down here. Start creating content, blog, podcast, social media, so like TikTok, and even YouTube Shorts. We over to YouTube, and it's our niche is third culture kid, like this. You're busy now for 30 minutes. I see. What did I miss? I don't know. We're just hanging out and talking, really. Building an identity as a third culture kid. This is a short. Third culture kids make up story time. 19 million views. Look at this. 19 million views. Susie. What is a third culture kid? 8,000 views. Third culture kid, 789 views, only 141 subscribers. So you could, I think you should. I think there's lots of opportunity here. But what I would do is look at actually building a business out of it. It seems like you're really passionate about it and you enjoy talking about it. It's something that not a lot of people know and experience. And so, you go through this value ladder here where you start off with the free content, whether it's on TikTok, or I would prefer TikTok and YouTube. It's a better way to build a connection. And then you create maybe a guide, create an online workshop. And you might think, hey, who's going to buy that? Well, I think parents and kids of third culture kids are going to buy it. I think when you build a large enough following, people are just going to buy stuff from you because they like you. And you're probably experiencing some of that with your merch store, but you can do that at scale with creating content. You could create a video like 3 things not to say to a third culture kid. Number 1 being, where are you from? Kind of thing. Anyway, I would seriously consider starting off, create content, podcast, TikTok. You could create, one thing that you can do, and this is basically what I do, is on a Saturday, once or twice a month, I'll just sit down and I'll just talk into the camera. And then you can break those, you can make that a podcast. How's it going? My amiibo. That can be your podcast, and then you can break those clips up and upload them to TikTok and YouTube, and those will be your clips. So you can kind of double dip. So what I would want to do is I would say create, I think we did create a lead magnet, right? Yeah. So digital nomad, third culture stories podcast. So I'm going to say create a landing page with a headline and sub headline for this target audience. Now, what we would want to do, I love your idea. I think you have to overcome camera shyness. Yeah, so personally, when people say they want to overcome camera shyness, it's something that I kind of struggle to help people with. Now, the reason why I think I struggle with it is because I realize that the only way to be the most consistent, fastest way to be successful is to show up on camera, because people build a relationship with you because they can see you. They can see your mannerisms. They can see your voice inflection. They can see everything. You can do this without being on camera. It's 100% possible. Just know that it's going to take longer. It will take longer. It's a little bit more difficult. Discover insights, connect with a global community, and find your place in the world. Join us to explore so you know what you could do? Your lead magnet could be having them join a Facebook group. Enter your name and email to join the Facebook group or whatever kind of community you build. And then you can just provide information within that group. And then you can, if you want to sell something, maybe you create a course. In fact, what I would do is get people in a group together and then ask them what they struggle with. What do you need? What do you want? And then build that thing for them and then sell them that thing. Because I feel like, and I don't know this audience very well. I feel like a lot of these people are going to have slightly different wants of the same overall general thing. And quite honestly, Susie, going back to the camera thing, you're here we're interacting with each other because you can see me. You can hear me. You can see my stuff in the background there. You can see my stuff in the background right here. I have the same nice curls as you. And so if you want to be successful, you got to show up on camera. If you want to be successful quicker, you've got to show up on camera. You can do it you can just do blogs and Facebook groups and stuff like that. But eventually it's going to take longer. And B, I think you're going to reach a cap, a limit, especially because with AI, you really don't know who's behind the content. You don't know who is saying it and who is doing it. And quite frankly, Susie, if you have a weird accent, that helps build that relationship with other people that are in your group or in your tribe. If people are asking you all the time, hey, where are you from? That's a way to form a connection with other third country kids, because I'm sure they're asked all the time, where are you from? And that's what's really interesting, is you could build your tribe. We do call it a tribe. Great. You can build your tribe just on sounding strange. And then I don't mean sounding strange like being mean or anything like that. I just mean like sounding strange because you said that people say that you sound different, or ask where you're from. If someone asks where I am from, I tell them it will give them brain damage. Funny. So anyway, any questions so far? So what I would do is I would build a lead magnet, and I would tell them to join the community of other TCKSs. I have a Dutch accent, and I am better in reading and writing instead of speaking. Is that killing? Here's the thing. Accents don't matter. The only people that care about the accents are you. I have an accent. I sound strange to a large group of people. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to a majority of the world. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you sound like. What matters is if you can actually help somebody. If you can help someone and you sound weird, you're just a weird sounding person that makes a lot of money. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that's important. I mean, I could go on YouTube right now, and I could show you a bunch of Dutch people that are wildly successful, even though they have an accent. The only thing that's stopping you in most cases is you. Whether you don't have the skills, whether you think you sound weird, maybe you think you have a face for radio, nobody cares about that stuff. And the people that do care about that stuff, they're not going to buy from you anyway. So I don't really care about what they think, feel, and say. So stop letting yourself limit yourself, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do real quick is I am just going to build out this lead magnet, and I'm going to build out the lead magnet using Gbolt Systems. Isn't there a program where it will turn the type into a video in video? Yes, Cynthia, that does do that, but I strongly encourage you to show up on camera. Be on camera, talk to the camera. Yeah, thanks, Susie. Show up on camera, be on camera, and look into the camera. Again, you guys are here interacting with me because you can see me. You have watched a number of my videos where I was on camera talking to you. That's why you're here. We're going to say third culture kids. And so I mean, you can be successful using AI. I think it's much more difficult, and it's only going to become harder as more and more people become aware of AI. Thank you. Thank you. Happy channel. Where did third culture kids? So So what I'm doing right now is I'm just building out a landing page. Landing page. And so the cool thing with G-Bolt systems is I can, my goodness, I can build out landing pages and give them to you. And so if you were to join G-Bolt systems, as soon as you signed into your account, you would have access to these landing pages. Let me just go back here real quick. So one really huge benefit of G-Bolt systems is you get access to all of these landing pages. You get access to the lead magnets for some of these landing pages. You get access to the autoresponder for a number of these landing pages, and they're delivered right to your account. You don't have to go rebuild them or anything like that. So you have basically everything that you need to get up and running. You just need to start creating content. So if we go back over here to sites and we're looking at third culture kids, we're going to create from blank. And the way you build landing pages comes down to personal preference, but this is how I like to build them. So we're going to do 30% shadow. We're going to do margin top like this, add a row, one column row, add an element. And my headline, I'm just going to grab it from ChatGPT. Enhance your global identity, navigating life as a third culture adult. And so come back over, where is it? Oh boy. The problem, one of the drawbacks of having a bunch of tabs open is you tend to lose things. And so we're going to say, I'm going to add in a little sub headline up here, and I'm going to call it like, you guys called yourselves, what did you guys, you said you guys called yourselves, join the culture community, the community. Oh, what did you guys call yourselves? You guys called yourself chameleons, right? And the reason why I want to do this, culture chameleons, the reason why I want to use cultural chameleons is because I want to speak directly to our fellow third culture kids community. Let's say join the culture chameleons community. And so what I would do, I guess, is yeah, there we go, cultural chameleons. Culture chameleon. And then I'm going to just add in this other subheading here. And we're going to say discover insights, connect with the global community, blah, blah, blah. Now, again, adapt this to your specific needs. And then one thing that we got to do real quick is I'm just going to call this third culture kids. All right, so we're going to do update, save. I'm going to go back over here, and I'm just going to build out a form real quick. So forms builder, and then you get access to all these forms as well. Add form from scratch. Add, there we go. We are going to hit the plus sign, first name, email, button. What we're going to do is hit this, show label. I'm going to put join the community like this. I'm going to change the color like that, make this full width, and click save. Oh, I want to change the name. Third culture. All right, perfect. So I'm going to click save. Come back over to funnels like this. Find our funnel, third culture kids. Go edit. We're going to put in that form we just built. Oops. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to click save. Cancel and keep, save again. And then that's really all we need right now. The next step is to actually build out our autoresponder sequence. And I'll show you how to do that real quick. So we go over to automation, and we are going to create a new workflow, start from scratch, add a new trigger, form submitted. That's why I did it this way. Form submitted, add filters, and we want to do form is third culture kids. All right. So anytime a third culture kid, and I want to make sure I change this, third culture kid. Anytime a third culture kid enters their name and their email, they're going to get added to this automation, and we're going to automatically send out emails. And to help with the emails, I'm going to come over to ChatGPT once again, and I'm going to say, create a 10-day email sequence for this audience. The first day should be a welcome email inviting them to join our community. Now, the cool thing with Gbolt systems is that you can actually build a community right in the software. And so you can actually create an exclusive link where they come to this community. Really simple, really easy. All right, so create a 10-day email sequence for this audience. The first day should be a welcome email inviting them to join our community. Also ask them to white label this email address. All right, and then I'm going to say the remaining days should be helpful tips and information. Hit enter, and this is going to build it out for us. And while we wait, we're going to come back over here. I click save real quick. Back out. And then if we went down to memberships, this is where we can create our community. So if we go to groups and we do create a group, that's where we could create our cultural chameleons community. Say that 3 times fast. But if we come back over here, we do come back, we are going to click this plus sign and we're going to click on email. Go back over to ChatGPT, and I'm just going to ask it to write email 1. But the cool thing is with all of this out of the way, you only need to create content. This removes a lot of the hurdles and roadblocks that you potentially face when getting started with an online business. So we can do welcome to the global community, copy this, and I just need to drag this over right next to it so I'm not messing around. You're going to put in your name, your email, subject, welcome to the community, and then, oh man, my mouse died. Give me a second. Another cord. All right, so all right, we're back. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. Now, don't just copy and paste. Even though I'm telling you to do this, don't just copy and paste this. What I recommend that you do is read through it. And I also recommend that you write it at a 9th grade level. So I would say like rewrite. Oh, okay, cancel that. Rewrite at a 9th grade level. Now, the reason being is ChatGPT and AI tends to write too smart. Half of the people that you come in contact with, this will intimidate if it's too smart. So you want to dumb it down just a little bit so that you are reaching the maximum amount of people. Okay, so we would just copy this. Again, read through it. The only change that we're going to make right now is under recipient's name. I'm just going to change this to that person's name, and that's why we got the name and email. So we would read through it, make sure that it makes sense, click save, and then I'm going to wait a day. And this is how easy email marketing really is. So we're going to wait a day like this, save, And then we're just going to send out another email. And we're going to do that for all 10 emails. Send email. And then we're going to say write email to. Be sure to write at ninth grade level. And then once again, it'll do that for us. And away we go. Do you guys have any questions about this niche? I would probably ask Susie because she has more experience. If you have any questions about G-Bolt systems, any questions about building an online business, any questions in general, because I'd be happy to ask them and give you a little bit more information. Any questions out there? Susie, are you still with me? Or I know it's probably pretty early there, so I would not be surprised if she dropped off. So again, this actually makes life a lot easier. Make sure you read through this before just posting it. Also, you want to make sure you read through it so that it sounds like you and not like a robot or some random person, because people are going to get used to the way you speak and do things. Still here, and it's lunchtime. Oh, what time is it there? 12:01. We're going to save, and then we're going to do it all again. So wait. We're going to wait one day like this, and then I'm going to say write email 3 at a 3rd grade level. 12:42. Awesome. Any other questions? Is this making sense? Let me know if this is not making sense, if I'm going too fast. Sometimes when you are used to using the technology, you kind of speed through stuff. If you want to know why I'm doing stuff, comment why. Like, why am I doing it in this order? What's the point of the email? The point of the email is to increase the know, like, and trust factor. I was reading a book. I think it's called Oversubscribed. And in the book, it said that you need to have 11 touch points. Now, all this time, I'll be rewatching. Cool. All this time, I was saying between 5 and 12 touch points, but the book said that you need 11. And one of the reasons why you're going to send out emails every single day is to increase the number of touch points. So you want people to consume your content via TikTok, via the social group, and via email marketing, so that you increase those touch points. They're more receptive to buying from you. They increase the know, like, and trust factor. I need to wait one, I think. Oops. So if you're wondering, do I really need to do email marketing? The biggest benefit of email marketing is to increase the connection that you are building with your target audience. Okay. Remember, I think it was like 11, 11, and 4. 11 touch points across like 4 platforms. So if you've got a blog, if you've got a YouTube channel, if you've got TikTok, and then you've got email marketing, you can send out emails. So this is email 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's email number 3. Write email 4. Write email 4. So that's a pro tip that not a lot of people are going to share with you. If you want to get people to buy from you, you need to be touching them virtually 11 times. 11 different times you need to be interacting with them. So send them back to your content. You send them an email, and then in that email, you're sending them back to your content. That's 2. And so, that's why people are emailing you every day. That's why people are emailing you multiple times per day, so that they can increase and accelerate the know, like, and trust factor so that you buy stuff. They figure, hey, if they don't want to hear from me, they're going to just unsubscribe. So send out emails, do your email marketing. And even with ChatGPT, it makes it much easier. Does this make sense? Everyone that's still watching and listening, is what I'm saying makes sense? In fact, you probably know a person that has been emailing you a whole bunch. You could probably say their name. And that's kind of what you want. You want to be top of mind. You want to be that person. Write email 5, write email 5, email 5, email 5. And so, yes, 11 touch points. Send out emails, get them engaged in a community, whether it's Facebook or other, get them watching your YouTube videos and your TikToks, feeling happy in different homes. This is interesting. Interesting. Email. All right. So we have been on for 50 minutes, which is really good. We're making really good time. Let's go back to our online whiteboard. We've created a lead magnet, which is going to be our online community. We've done our landing page. We've done most of our autoresponder. And then a broadcast emails are just, will all the links be in description? I just have one link, I think, in the description. And that link is to G-Bolt Systems. Broadcast emails are just one-off emails you send off when you have new information. For example, you create a new video, you send out an email saying, hey, I created a new video, go check it out. Let's see here. We'll copy this like this. Custom value, source name, save action. All right, so traffic. People talk about traffic all the time. It just basically means where you're going to create your content. You can create your content for this niche. I think that this is a really interesting niche for social media. I think this would be a really powerful niche for video content because people can hear you and people can see you. Hey, I'm Dutch, but I have a South African accent. And you're going to say, the reason why people ask me where I'm from is because I'm a third culture kid. What's a third culture kid, you ask? And you explain what it is. You make people aware of this. It has a potential to go viral because it's something weird and foreign and not something that a lot of people know. So I would do like TikTok because it has the highest like awareness, and then like YouTube Shorts. You're already doing Facebook and Instagram. Keep doing that if that works for you. But I think you'll see much more success if you do video content. A lot of people don't want to be on camera. You're missing out. You're limiting your success. You have the opportunity to be really successful just by showing up on camera. And it doesn't take long to make a 1-minute video. You can do 3 1-minute videos, be done in 10 minutes every single day. And the cool thing is the first, I would say the hardest, when it comes to making videos, the hardest is the first week because you got to come up with ideas. Eventually, people are going to start asking questions, and then your content will be you answering the questions that they're asking. So after the first week, you're going to have so many questions that people are asking that your content is just going to be replying to people, and you'll never run out of content ideas. Keyword research. I like to do keyword research here because it's based on our traffic. The things people are asking on TikTok are going to be different than what they're asking on YouTube. So keyword research is basically just finding the questions that people are asking. And that's why I wanted to look up what these different keywords were. So you can create a video like, hey, have you ever heard someone say third host family and you wonder what it means? This is what it means. And you can simply start the conversation talking about, hey, have you ever been, you could say, hey, I've been called a tick and I'm proud of it. And people are going to say, what the hell are you talking about? I am proud to be a tick. Did you know 1 in 300 people in the world are ticks, and I'm one of them? People will be like, what's a tick? And then you're going to say that a tick is a third culture kid. And then you explain what it is. And then that's when people are going to start asking questions. And then that's when you can create content answering those questions. You've heard of third world countries, but have you heard of a third culture kid? Probably not. Here's what a third culture kid is. And then you can make it an analogy. A third culture kid is like someone from the north going down to the south and feeling out of place, even though they're in the United States. That's an interesting analogy. Or like who said it? Like Cynthia said, she's from Louisiana. Even though we're in the United States, it's going to feel like two different worlds. The food, the language, and it's funny. Whenever we went to South Carolina, there's like a language barrier. I had to ask my mom what she was saying, what my cousins were saying. She had to translate it for me, and I'm sure that's some of what third culture kids go through. And that's what's kind of funny. If I ever went down and visited Cynthia, I'd have to have her translate some things for me. What are they saying? What does that mean? And so that's something that you could create content around, Susie. Being a third culture kid is like someone in the US that lives in New England goes down to Texas for a week. They feel out of place. They know they're still in the United States, but it doesn't feel right. No question, just trying to absorb this great information. You're welcome, Enrique. Thanks for commenting. So yeah, if you were to use social media, that's kind of how I would start. And then I would look up stats. Third culture kid stats, statistics. And the reason why I would go with stats in some instances is that our brains are wired differently. Some people will connect with stats. Other people will connect with emotions. And so if you can create that type of content, speaking to both people, ooh, this is ugly. We're an estimated 87 million. I'd find a website that has better stats that I could absorb. So I would skim through this. Would have never thought of using ChatGPT to reword a target audience. Yes, it's really powerful. Really powerful. It's almost too powerful. Susie, read through, Google, or maybe even ask ChatGPT. List crazy stats about third culture kids. And hopefully it'll give us some stats. 90% of ticks attend college, increased cultural sensitivity, 18 lived in multiple countries. So I would say us ticks are smarter than the rest of the world, and I can prove it. 85% of ticks report feeling that they can adapt to any culture. If you have a chameleon, Susie, you could say, hey, do you know what me and this chameleon have in common? We can go anywhere and fit right in. People are going to say, what are you talking about? And that's when you can say, I'm a tick. People are going to say, what the hell's a tick? And then that's when you can explain to them what a third culture kid is. Yeah. And then another thing you can do, yes, it's very unique. Very unique. And then another thing you can do is you could actually ask ChatGPT to come up with tips, tricks, tactics, facts, all sorts of different things. And then you can turn those into posts in your community. You can turn those into Facebook posts if you want and go from there. All right. So I usually will go for about 1 hour live because after that, I tend to get a little cranky. Do you guys have any questions for me when it comes to starting an online business? Now, if you want this funnel that I built out or any of the other funnels that I have shown you in here, you get all of these different funnels. You can go to gboltsystems.com. You're welcome, Susie. Go to gboltsystems.com and you can get over $3,000 in bonuses. Gbolt Systems, just for testing out the new platform. Whoops. Let's close that. But if you go to gboltsystems.com, you join the Startup Launchpad, you get over $3,000 in bonuses. I'm trying to bring up the website. It keeps taking me somewhere else. All right, so this is what the website looks like. Over $3,000 in bonuses just for testing out this brand new platform. You get access to Gbolt Systems 2-week free trial. You get access to Affiliate Marketing Mastery Bundle, digital product creation. So if you want to create a digital product, you get help with content and promotion toolkit, come up with thousands of ideas for your niche. And I could probably add third culture kids to the niche ideas. And then if you want to promote the system, there's a 2-tier affiliate program, 40% reoccurring on tier 1 and then 5% on tier 2. Again, 2-week free trial. If you want to get started, go to gboltsystems.com. If you want, watch this little video. Oh, where did everything go? I don't like that. Watch this little video and get started. I can't post much to the same channel. Anyway, all right, guys, that's all I have for you today. You guys have a great night, and we will talk to you soon.